I know, right? Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the 2024 Vanguard GT. I'm TO Mike Atkins, and joining me, as always, is magnificent Mark Howard.
What's up, y'all?
All right, we are bringing you the top table match here in round 4. Looks like maybe they have picked sides.
They have, in fact, picked sides. Or no, they didn't pick sides yet. They're probably placing the tokens. Then they will pick sides, and then I believe they will choose what is their primary loot token.
Yep, that's right. And also, we cannot forget Sean McCormley, our man on the pitch. Keep an eye on things up close and personal for us.
Giving us the updates.
Giving us all the updates. Yep, so they are playing Plunder. This is going to be Derek Sennstrom versus Dale Motley. These guys are sitting on, let's pull up the total results, 61 and 62 battle score. 62 for Dale, 61 for Derek. Just behind them on table 2, it's 60 and 59 are Marcelo Rocco and Gabe Toth, and then there's a 10-point drop until the next person. So very, very little room in the top 4 there. Just a 1-point step from 62.
It's brutal.
So super duper close, tight tournament at this point. Could still be anybody's tournament. But we are watching the top table, which is not Order of the Green Lady versus Northern Alliance, but Order of the Green Lady versus Halflings.
We did it.
We did it. We got Halflings on the top table, y'all. We'd love to see it.
We did it.
So they are doing their token deployment. Again, they're playing Plunder, which is like super loot. So you put down 5 loot tokens across the middle of the table. You each pick one to be made worth 2 points, and then you try to pick them up and hold them to the end. That's how that scenario works. It's straight out of the book. And looks like they are switching sides. Derek's moving his stuff. So we will go over the list here in just a second. That's going to be Derek on the left side of the screen when they're done, and Dale on the right side of the screen. Hey, I had it right the first time. Sweet.
We did it. I
can see the future. It's Sunday morning, and we're a little punchy here today, folks. But that's all right. Be fine. That's what we're here for. So let's look at some lists here real quick before they get started as they're finishing their stuff up here. So this is Dale's Order of the Green Lady list. We've seen a lot of Order of the Green Lady in the top table this weekend.
You've seen this list twice?
We've seen this specific list twice, but this is a pretty big matchup. And I'm really interested in seeing what happens. These guys are both really great players. Derek, of course, last year's champion. Dale, as we said before, kind of one of those low-key best players in the region that hasn't quite gotten his due yet, we feel like.
And a fun little caveat to that is that right at the top tables last year in Vanguard, Derek actually defeated Dale basically to become champion.
Become the champion, yep. So a little bit of a repeat. So Dale's rocking 2 regiments of Brotherhood Centaurs, 3 regiments of Order of Redemption, 1 with Sharpness and 1 with Blessing of the Gods. He's got 2 hordes of Order Forsaken and 1 regiment. One of the hordes has Boot Striding, and both of the hordes have Sacred Water. He's got 2 Pegasus. He's got 2 mounted exemplars. One of them's got the loot for Bane Chant. And he's got the Avatar of the Green Lady at a nice 13 drops and 25 unit strength. Now let's check it. No, it's not bad at all. He's been using it very, very effectively. So let's take a look at Derek's Halflings. You want to read over these?
I do. So Derek has a regiment of Braves and a horde of Braves. He has 3 regiments of Poachers with their bows. He has 3 cav regiments of Juggers. They all have Relentless. 1 has Brew of Strength, 1 has Jesse's Boots, and 1 is Naked. For people who don't know, the Relentless upgrade is once per game you can re-roll in a combat. 3 failed to hit rolls. 2 Harvesters, 2 Iron Beasts, 1 with Pride of the Shires upgrade. And then we have a Muster Captain on a miniature Aralez. And we have the Sorcerers. We have 2 of them, 1 with Inspiring Talisman and 1 Naked.
Yeah. I played against this list at Pilgrimage, and it completely caught me by surprise. Like, I was not prepared for the smoke that Halflings were bringing. Honestly, Derek uses this list really, really well. He's really good at positioning. He's really good at setting traps. So I think this game is going to be one of those, like, Dale is going to try to set up very favorable charges and come in and wreck him and either Derek will set up traps that Dale doesn't see coming, and he's going to walk into him, and then Derek's going to pounce, or Dale will kind of like see what Derek has got in mind, and will try to find like the unexpected charge or the thing that he doesn't have covered, or he might just hold back for a round and wait. So we'll see. We'll see.
Now the thing about Derek's list, it's actually just I've played against Derek like 5 times now because I'm in his meta.
Yep.
The list doesn't look like it has anything crazy inherently, but he has a lot of drops. He has a lot of units, and they all hit pretty hard, minus maybe the poachers and the braves. Like the rest of it's pretty good. So he can get you with almost any unit at any time, and it's like you said, he sets up traps. Or if you get one unlucky roll where you don't break something, normally he has a unit somewhere that's ready to flank you. It just happens with the number of units he has and stuff like that. It's a really brutal list, and if you're not paying attention, 2 things to note for everybody as you watch this. He has a mounted character that has Aura Strider for everything. So he can just start out, do charges, and then run 16 inches across the table, give everybody else Strider. So almost his whole army, if he plays it right, just has Strider.
Can end up with Strider, absolutely.
Which is haunting.
Yeah. It definitely catches you by like it definitely caught me by surprise when I played him because something happened, a unit bounced, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot that there were juggers behind the hill that were looking this direction. Oh wow, they are just within range. Oh shit, now they have Strider.
Yep.
Yeah, it catches you by surprise. So let's talk about their 2-point bonus objectives that they have picked. It doesn't matter in terms of wins or losses for this game, but again, these guys are 1 point away from each other and only a couple points ahead of the people on table 2. So every overall tournament point is going to matter a lot here in these last 2 games. Dale has selected Hold the Line as his 2-point bonus objective. So he is trying to end the game with a higher total unit strength completely on his own half of the table than his opponent has gotten onto his half of the table. So he's basically trying to hold stuff back on his side a little bit and keep Derek out. Since you only have to get to the center line to get tokens, I think that's a pretty good selection for Dale. His army does kind of want to get all the way across and smash you, though. So
absolutely.
So he'll have to like an ideal end of game state for Dale is like Derek is mostly dead and most of his stuff is on the other side of the table. So he's going to have to kind of like try to keep some unit strength back at least on his half of the table, or fight a little bit more in the middle so he can back up to make sure he gets it.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And then what's the My Precious? Is
that
Derek, the highest item?
That's the most expensive magic item,
which I believe is the sharpness cap yet again.
Yep. So Order of Redemption.
I was going to ask, did Dale use Hold the Line against Ryan?
He can't because you can only pick each one once. You can only attempt each.
I mean, we know that.
I mean, I hope so. Let me check. Let me look at what he's picked. Dale's done My Precious.
Oh, he did Strength of Numbers, maybe, or
he did a unit.
He did one with unit strength involved, correct?
Yeah. Strength and numbers, yeah.
Strength and numbers. Okay, never mind. We're good. Yeah. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. It's going to be a lot like playing against Northern Alliance in the sense that he's going to have a decent amount of shooting, but make no mistake, Halflings can fight you. Halflings can kill you dead if given the circumstances. Another thing is he has 2 saucers running around, which gives him a lot of versatility to have them affect a lot of the board, not just a small little piece. So you see a lot of rally 1 to 2 running around his army, and then once combat starts, we'll see him try and go for the legendary Brutal 3 for a bunch of combats, which is it's a sight to see. So I think we're starting our deployments. Derek just played the flute with his laser a little bit in his mouth. That was good.
Can we? Let's see if we can tell
what's going on.
Which of the objectives are the ones worth 2?
So the one's worth 2. If you guys are going to look at this, you'll see the hill in the middle with the Pegasus blocking it. That is going to be a number 2. And the other number 2 is the one directly above it to the right of the forest on Derek's side. For those of you just joining us now, the forests are the 3 pillars in the square stone. This is a effective underground dwarven-esque looking city.
Yeah.
So the terrain is themed as such. So your rough terrain is going to be the treasure chests and everything on the squares. The water feature is, of course, the water feature. Buildings, the buildings. Hills are self-explanatory, but those are forests. Those pillars. You may even get lucky and see where both of them pick those pillars up during the course of the game and just play with them in their hands, as people are apt to do.
They make great drumsticks. Let's swap around and take a look at the opposite side. Yeah, okay, so we can see a little clearly here now. The second and third objective up from the bottom are the ones that are worth 2. So these guys are going to mostly try to play in the middle of the table here.
Yes. Now, one other thing I think we should also talk about is, as you look at this matchup, Derek has a good mix of units. He's got some cav, he's got some titans, some monsters, regiments of just infantry that are throwaway, some that aren't. Dale exclusively has effectively just like different versions of cav. And for him to pick up loot tokens, they are going to lose anywhere from 3 to 5 speed, nimble, flying, if he wants to pick them up. So he might have to go for the beat Derek to death and then try and grab tokens at the end of the game, which could be difficult to try and scramble to that near the end of the game. So in a way, I actually think Derek kind of has the advantage just in army list composition for this specific scenario.
He's also got a couple more drops. Like I've played a lot of Alpha Strike armies, and I never want to see a loot token scenario for that exact reason. Like I have to sacrifice my biggest advantage and my whole strategy just in order to score the points. Or you wait till the end and then you try to get back to him, and you hope you got enough units to do it. So probably, unless Derek picks them up and he gets to go kill the units to get them back, I don't think this is going to be like a max score scenario.
No, and I don't think it will be either. And, I have one of my best friends, Jordan Bolin, who is not a mentally balanced person, but an efficient general for the most part. Played OGL for many years, and just watching him play games and playing against him, you find yourself where when he's winning games like this, it's because he's completely collapsed the side of someone's table by turn 4. So he's able to get these tokens and hold them for like a turn or 2. But anytime pressure was on him, he could beat somebody's army down and be 800 points ahead of them in terms of army points and barely even able to draw the game because he has to get over there and try and capture them. So it is very difficult. Now, at the same time, depending on how Dale uses them, he has Pegasus once again, which I've talked about throughout the course of this weekend. You can always keep them back if you want to, or if they just happen to somehow live attacking support units or something. End of the game, they can fly and pick one up. Very, very good. But we'll see how he hides those. Talking about this Halflings list, and we'll keep going back to it because I don't know how much you guys have seen Halflings. He just has a lot of random deceptive things that he can do. So you might see a Pegasus just randomly get shot by 1 Iron Beast and then 2 units of Poachers, which is actually a pretty great amount of firepower, and just take one of them out of nowhere. So you'll see a lot of cool things.
Now, we got a similar situation kind of on table 2 with Marcelo and Gabe.
Gabe Toth.
Because that is also an Order of the Green Lady army against dwarves in this scenario, like a lot of defense 6 dwarves. So kind of the same thing. Like Marcelo's not going to want to pick up tokens.
No.
And Gabe absolutely wants to just pick them up and just hold them and just sit there for the game and live.
He does. Now, because I'm just going to go into the sickness that I know both of their lists, and once again, Gabe is in my meta. I've played Gabe many a time, so I know his list. Their interesting thing is going to be, so Gabe plays dwarves, but not with as many guns as a lot of people run. So he's not going to shoot you as much as dwarves you would expect them to. So that'll be weird. And I do believe Marcelo currently is actually running some foot troop units.
I think he did add a couple.
He has some men-at-arms units that are actually going to be able to just pop in and grab some tokens. And the cool part about that for him is he can just charge in with everything, his cav, everything, and just create a wall. A wall of defense 5, regeneration, probably Avatar the Green Lady, heal. I'm having flashbacks. It's fine. So it's all good. But funny that it is similar, very similar ideas, table 1 and 2.
Yep. So I can
You love
see,
to see it.
yeah, you do, and I can see the sort of thing where, like, if Marcelo and Dale win, each of their wings could be kind of small, but if Derek and Gabe win, their wins could be
Yeah, they're probably grabbing a lot of tokens.
a lot bigger,
Yep.
right? So it'll be interesting to see how their scores, seeing as how they are all just 1 point away from each other, actually
Yep.
shake out for the next 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Somebody could conceivably win a small win here and easily get leapfrogged by the people on the lower
Oh,
table.
absolutely. That's
Uh,
half the fun of Kings of War. Is just insane things
yeah,
can happen, and
yeah,
we might see units just explode on this table and change everything that we're saying about these strategies. It happens, but
yeah,
mathematically, it's going to be very interesting. I think one thing Derek also has going for him that Gabe probably doesn't in this type of matchup is that any unit that Gabe would lose as dwarves in his army, it really sucks to lose it. Derek playing halflings, he can lose some of his units, and they're just kind of like little halfling units. They don't cost a whole lot. So any loss that he sustains is not really that bad, save maybe the Iron Beasts are a little expensive.
yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. I'm also very curious to see how Derek just kind of handles his Cav being out threatened by a large majority of Dale's force and
Yep.
having to keep them back and hide them.
Yep. I'm going to swap the camera around. Let's talk about how Derek has deployed down here on the far side of the screen. I see his hordes, his infantry horde. I see some juggers
Oh yeah.
and some archers and one of the iron beasts and one of the harvesters.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see that he's got his cab right up front. And then I see the.
I don't think those 2 juggers are down. I don't think there's 2 juggers up front right
Okay,
now.
I was hoping. Oh yeah, no, they're not. My bad. The 12-inch mark is right there. I got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, a good thing here is the Braves. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
tilt my thing real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so he's got those knights there, but if he uses the Braves properly, the Harvester is going to be protected where his base can't fit. And
Yep.
if those knights can't break the Braves in one turn and he gets a flank with that Harvester, his life is over, which is good,
Yep.
but they probably will break him. I think that's the sharpness unit,
Probably.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So starting on at the bottom and walking up, it looks like we're looking at on Derek's side of the table there. We got a harvester. We got that horde of braves. There's some juggers behind them.
Yep.
And then what? Poachers, and an iron beast.
Poachers, Iron Beast. Yep. And I think he deployed the Juggers behind them, right?
More
Yep, 2
juggers,
units.
behind, and then there's the other harvester up by the building, and I
Yep.
think he's putting more juggers and maybe the pride of the shires on the other side. Looking at Dale, we'll flip the camera around so we can see the rest of his, but he does have some redemption knights down here on the other side of the brewery, and now we'll flip the camera back around so we can see the rest of Dale's army. And yep, there's redemption knights, centaurs with Forsaken, starting at the top of the brewery, working our way down. That's I think that might be the regiment of Forsaken, and then centaurs, kind of in the barrels terrain there, with a horde of Forsaken behind them, and then more redemption knights in purple, and then centaurs kind of in gray, then redemption knights in red,
Yep.
and then a Pegasus, and then his other horde of Forsaken.
Yep. And I think the avatar of the Green Lady is next to that Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen where he actually, if he even did, place the exemplars. But as we move, we'll look at that because we've talked a bunch about the exemplars blocking people up and their versatility and flexibility and movement. We'll see how that comes into play in this game. It'll be pretty brutal. What we're looking at right now, I think they've done all their drops, and that would probably be Derek doing his scout moves with his poachers. So he's trying to get into that forest, give him some cover, make people hindered when they charge, which probably won't matter if they get hit. But he's just going to be able to start shooting, bows at people right out the gate, which is basically what he wants to do if he can.
Yep.
For anybody that has noticed, if you see on some of the Jugger units, you'll see things like donuts and cupcakes. Those are his Ravenous army upgrade tokens, because they are eating them to gain their rerolls. He will take them off as he's using them. So if you see him pop one of those off, you know he's using his 3 rerolls.
Yep. And again, they're playing Plunder. The 2 2-point tokens are the one in the center of the table and the one just north of it. Here's the first turn roll. That looks like it's going to be first turn to Dale, which is big. That is definitely what Dale wants. Hive Strike Army always loves going first.
Oh, yeah. Now, if Dale, this will be interesting because this is actually mostly. Oh, they're both running to the bathroom. They are sprinting to separate bathrooms. Funny enough, Derek was able to take all those stairs at a very accelerated pace and not fall down the stairs.
Man, what you
Can't
can't
say
do with a
that for
pair of
everybody.
young knees, let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't think Derek actually really has young knees anymore. Derek
Mm.
is a carpenter by trade, so he does a lot of manual labor. When you actually, if you sit next to him and listen to him sit down, you just hear all the
You
cracks.
hear all the cracks? Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty neat,
yeah.
but pretty good. So we're gonna wait for them to get back. We can talk more about this. So with the first turn, I think that this is going to be in Dale's hands, how he moves all of his units and protects certain things, because he is going to dictate for Derek what Derek's shooting targets are. Derek has no say over this if he's moving this and doing it right.
Is
Get in
that
there,
the
Dale.
is that the second Pegasus kind of
I believe that's the second Pegasus just chilling out. He,
behind the Regiment of Forsaken?
yeah, he hit everything so far in deployment, which he should be doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, now we just got to see. Like I said, it's all going to depend on how he moves on his first turn, what targets he actually gives Derek to shoot. So if anything happens that is extremely bad for Dale with shooting, it's because he let Derek do it. The only thing he
Yeah.
probably can't fully hide will be the Centaurs. They kind of have to move with the army. Holding them back doesn't really do anything for him. But he shouldn't be losing an Exemplar or either Pegasus if he does this right.
And we're just waiting for Derek to get back. They will kick their clocks off again.
Yeah. He's probably just doing some dumping people. Bear with him.
Yeah.
The human body is a sad condition. So you
And
see,
we are playing on 65-minute clocks per player, including deployment.
yep, and you already see Dale taking this time. He's doing a few measurements here and there, probably just figuring out his first moves. There goes Derek running in. He's like a gazelle. He's beautiful,
Graceful,
graceful, very graceful.
magnificent, dignified.
He might be just that much more graceful just compared to all of us.
Could be.
Yeah, we're bringing the room down. All right, so and we're off to the races.
And we're off. Get
There's
up
the
on that
regiment.
wall, boys.
Yep.
Get those stairs.
Hit the stairs. I don't know why anybody doesn't just lay the wall flat, like on its lower portion.
I usually do, but those are particularly square and chunky walls because it's a dwarf
That's
mat.
fair.
So like I've tried when you set those down their side, they're basically still the same shape.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Sometimes I sacrifice playability for aesthetics, and I won't
It
apologize.
looks very pretty. Very pretty. If anybody would like, if we can all look towards the lighting effects on the buildings and just appreciate their warm, embracing glow.
3D printer and an airbrush will get you a lot of terrain, folks.
You're invited into the tavern.
Pro tip.
All right, so is that what I think it is? He's floating a Pegasus up there? Don't do that.
Yeah, there we go. Try to turn the wall down. Yep.
They're trying.
They're trying.
Gotta do what you gotta
Up
do.
a little bit.
All right, that looks like a Pegasus floating there,
All
which
right.
I don't. Okay.
He's using the Pegasus to prevent double charges on his regiment. And looks like there's one of the exemplars back there as well. I don't know about that.
All right, so we've spotted one of them.
Yep. I feel like I would do it the other way around. I feel like I'd put the regiment up on the wall.
I fully agree. Keep the Pegasus behind it.
And keep the
Plus,
Pegasus
Pegasus
back.
doesn't need to charge. He can just get in the way. He's height 4.
Yeah.
It's block line of sight. That's all you need to do. You don't gotta fuck with it.
Yeah, they're both.
Rain
they're
doesn't
both height
matter. He
4.
has Pathfinder, so he can land in woods and double move. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both height 4. The Forsaken and the Pegasus height 4, so he could hide them behind it, and nothing
Here
but
goes
except maybe
Pegasus
the
up
Iron
here.
Beak.
All right. So the only thing I can imagine, and we're all just going to pretend that Dale is not mentally deranged right now, is he is throwing them out there as shooting targets to draw attention away from things like his centaurs or his knights getting shot, because he feels he doesn't want Derek to get lucky and take one of them out early. And if Derek happens to not kill either the Pegasus or even waver them, they're in great position with a lot of range to hold up anything.
Yep.
So maybe he's just going for it and hoping that Derek doesn't roll good. which is highly possible. And the Pegasus in the woods, closest to the bottom of the screen, the only real shooting that Derek will really have is maybe 1 unit of poachers and 1 of the Iron Beasts. So that guy actually very well might live. And he's in a forest where the Iron Beast's great height will not be ignoring cover.
Yep.
So
And also,
yeah.
those Order of Redemption Knights expire, so you don't have to worry about whether they're inspired or not. They're right there close to it. They should be inspiring it.
Yeah, the inspiring going throughout the Order of the Green Lady is pretty incredible between all the knight units.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's exemplar number 1 going to stay out of the range of the Harvester. I don't know if he's asking about the Wild Charge or not. That is an aura that sorcerers may provide. If anybody does not know, sorcerers can provide an aura of Wild Charge, an aura of Rallying, an aura of Life Leech, and an aura of Brutal, with the Rallying maxing out at 2. He did max 13 according to Derek. Okay, cool.
Check to make sure that exemplar is still expired. Yep. Go ahead and throw an individual out there. It's -1 to be shot at.
Yep.
But have him up there to be in the way and threaten. Like, that's basically it. And now right on the other side, you can't quite see it from this side, so let's check out the reverse camera angle right there by the tower. Derek does have a Harvester. Is that a Harvester with a character behind it?
It is. That's Saucer.
That's a Sorcerer. Okay.
If I had to guess, it is the Saucer with the Inspiring, because I'm sure his Shire guy is over there inspiring everybody, because he's very inspiring, so everybody's inspired over there right now, most likely.
It's not. It's not. Okay, Sean says it's not.
It's not what?
It's
not the Inspiring?
It's not the Inspiring Sorcerer, I think is what he's saying. Oh, the Sorcerer behind the tower.
Yeah, it is the one behind the tower. Yep.
Yeah,
got it.
That's what we're talking about. Okay, so the Sorcerer behind the Harvester behind the tower is the Inspiring.
It would make no sense otherwise.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. I'm sure he's moving Exemplar right up here. Okay, yeah, so he's just pulling out bait for Derek to just shoot at all of his chaff and putting them in cover for the best result.
Yep.
And it'll stop Derek from shooting any of his actual units, and then he's probably, if I had to guess, going to pull the trigger almost as fast as he can. A very smart move that Dale's doing. If you notice, he kept the Centaurs so far behind the hill, so he's not even giving him access to that. So he is aware of the shooting threat that the Halflings pose, and he's just protecting his defense 4 units to the best of his ability.
Yep. And I think we saw him move the Green Lady up there by the brewery. In between those Forsaken, the Regiment, the Horde of Forsaken, and the Centaurs.
Yep. And it's what you have is basically the longer Dale's able to protect some of those units, and the game goes on and people start losing units, he wants to hold on to as many units as he can for late game. Which would be super helpful. Also, if he can engage Derek without having to really use Centaurs, he can... Oh, well, never mind. He moved him. I thought he was just going to keep him behind the hill. Now he's going.
Or maybe not. Maybe not.
You love to see it.
Let's keep these out of range, actually.
At least he's thinking it out, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Centaurs will be good if he doesn't actually end up needing them a lot in this game. If he gets ahead early on, he can actually really use them to kind of run around and pick up some tokens. Yeah. Just in the background. Just have them just run and just go start picking them up.
Yep. Yep. So,
all right.
First turn, Alpha Strike Army, he's going to move everything up.
Yep. Not a whole lot, but he moved up.
Well, that's kind of the thing.
That's all you got to do. He's all in range, right? Yeah.
Right. He's just got to get up. just has to get up to threaten everything and not like give away double charges to any of Derek's fast stuff.
Which is funny. It's incredible how much threat and how much the game changes playing an Alpha Strike Army when everything in the army just moves like 4 inches. You're like, woo!
Yep. Slide up, and we're in range. Hold.
Yeah.
Wait around.
So we're sadly enough, I think a big part of this game will actually be determined almost right here to see what Derek's shooting is actually able to take down, and if it fails, it's just going to get really, really hard for him because Dale's going to get stuck in, and it's just going to start the party, just like when he played Ryan's Northern Alliance list, which had more shooting than Brad's did, and he ended up getting bogged down with just, if your shooting's not there, there's only so much you can do if you moved up to shoot people and threat them.
So what's his prime target's going to be here? If you're Derek, are we trying to peel off the Pegasuses? Are we trying to put wounds on the Knights?
Well, let's put it this way. If you're Derek and you're self-aware for the time being, you're not going to target the Knights or the Forsaken because they are the defense 5 units The Redemption all have regen. They all have Sacred Water to heal up to 2 wounds. The
Yep.
Green Lady's there with Radiance to Life. Like, all these units just come back to life if you even do 8 wounds to them. They just start coming back to life. And if they charge in and you can't shoot them again or can't do wounds, they get to do it again without being less. Before you know it, a unit you did 8 to 9 wounds to is down to 1. So it's just a waste. So if I'm him, I'm targeting Centaurs, who are defense 4, and I'm targeting Pegasus and the Exemplar guys, and I'm trying to remove units off the table. That's what Derek probably wants to do. You wanna drop his unit strength, his number of units that can move around and affect you. We've seen this with both OGL players we've seen on here so far. As long as they start bogging you down, you can start killing their units, but if all their stuff's still alive, they have a unit or 2 always waiting. So when you finally do kill one, it just charges you and finishes you off. And we saw Hrim get locked out with a Pegasus for 2 turns, things like that.
Yeah.
You just got to get some of their units off the table. It doesn't have to be good units, just any of them. There's Marcelo running upstairs. Or I think people's bowels are just betraying them today. That's what Sundays are for.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, baby.
Breakfast hits the bottom. That's what happens. Yeah, no, when you've got a 2-drop advantage against a 13 drops is good, but it's a little on the low side. Yeah, definitely every scoring unit capable of picking up a token that you pick up on Dale's side helps
I would
out
say
a lot.
like an average is around 14 drops for people. If like most armies, around an average somewhere at 14. If you go below that line, you're starting to get a little weird.
Yep. And Sean's also telling us that Marcelo also got first turn as Green Lady against Gabe on table 2.
Yep. Love to see it. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see what is available to him. I'm not sure if I'd go for the Pegasus and the cover, because he's going to need 5s to hit them, or if I'd just go for broke, and if one of the Centaur units is available, just try and rip one of the Centaurs right off the table right in the beginning. And as we saw, I mean, Centaurs, people probably aren't taking them super seriously, but we saw them come back and defeat Brad yesterday with that flank charge.
Yep.
They don't have to be incredible. They hit on 3s. Like, good.
Yep. Sorcerer there rolled and got to rally 2.
Yep. The classic halfling move until combat happens.
Right.
Yep.
Not that Dale's got anything that's going to shoot him or try to get a lucky waiver out of anything.
No, but the only thing that kind of sucks for the rally too is it's on poachers. Most likely, if Dale pulls the trigger on anything into the poachers, whatever hits them is murdering them, no matter what. Yeah. So they could be nerf 19. I don't think it's going to matter. They're defense 3. But we'll see if we can switch really quick to the other table view and see what happens. So my wonder is if Gabe actually used a proxy base for that harvester all the way down in the bottom if the knights can't fit to get to them.
I don't know. That looks like a lot of space.
It does, but I don't know if he'd make that mistake unless he's just outside of 16, which actually is probably more likely than not, I would say. And I guarantee he checked the arc for the Braves to make sure they're not getting flank charged, obviously, because he is not a psychopath in that way. Round 4 repeat of last year. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, yeah, just very, very cautious move ups. Just, he's out threat. He knows he's out threat. For now, I think he's just going to wager his guns, wait for Dale to pull the trigger, and just see what he's got left, what he can work with.
Looks like he moved those juggers back probably out of Pegasus range.
Correct. I would say that he's moving back the Braves right there. And those Braves are actually, they're the most insignificant unit in Derek's army, but at the same time, if that board state ends up going favorably for him, that Braves unit rules because they can literally just move up and just grab a token and run away, and they're done for the game. They did it. You love to see those throwaway units sometimes in these scenarios.
That's right. This is what I'm here for.
Yep. Moving outside of 20, yep. All right, that's the other saucer, probably. Probably just the rally for the hell of it. Yep. Just making sure he's out of that 20. All right. Now, a very interesting thing to see outside of Derek's shooting, and this does happen, and it can happen very easily against an army like Dale's, will be if he made some type of mistake in this placement, and as Dale starts to charge everything in, he just gets something that Derek didn't foresee.
Yep, I think Derek was
And
just checking that harvester against that Pegasus in the wood.
Yep, and that makes the game incredibly difficult right out the gate, and I think you see that pretty often. You see just that one mistake, it's like getting your foot in the door.
Yep.
Early on, so.
All right, there's the opening that you're waiting for. All right, so we're getting started. Shooting.
So that's going to be the Iron Beast. I'm assuming on the Pegasus.
I would
it's
guess,
like a wound.
Yep, one for the peg.
Woo! All right, this looks like a poacher unit, if I had to guess. Going into the Pegasus. Maybe.
You're on the wall, but you got to be behind the wall. The wall's too short anyway.
Yep, he's got to be behind the wall for that, so I don't think he has cover. He's just moving it back.
How did you want that to be? Did you want it to be behind the wall? Did you want to have cover? Okay, slide back a little bit.
And there's Derek being a beauty and letting him move his models back to have the cover.
Yep.
As gentlemen should.
Did you intend for that to have cover? Yes. Bump it back then.
Wouldn't have changed the game in terms of he had more than enough movement to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
very nice.
Intent is a very important thing to discuss with people.
Yep. Very nice, sportsmanlike, intentional play here.
All right, we're going. 3 wounds on the peg. Oh, wow.
3 to start. Okay.
Poachers all right, 4s again. Get a 4. 2 wounds. Damn, he's going.
And we're looking at probably all 3 poacher units shooting there and the Iron Beast.
That's still the poacher unit right there.
Okay.
I can't tell if he's still shooting the Pegasus. I probably would just for the sake of getting it off the board. You may as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iron Beast only got 18 range. It might not make
8 wounds total.
8 wounds total. That's pretty good.
That's meaty.
Yep. Pegasus is only 10-12.
All right. That is
swapped up to shooting at the regiment.
Yep.
Thinks he's put enough wounds, and he probably has. He's
I
twice?
imagine this is the roll, and
that'll pick up the peg. Okay.
Good early move.
And then there's the regiment. Yeah, checking for a lucky wave on the regiment.
Yeah, probably fine.
And on the other peg, only a couple wounds. Probably not going to get it, except on that very big roll. And it is inspired, so.
Yeah, at that point, you're just going for a waiver anyway.
And we're on to the top of 2. Back over to Dale.
Yep. So, once again, I mean, he did get 1 peg, which is pretty good. We already see we're going to see all the trigger pulls. We see the Pegasus immediately going into the cav. They're going into the Iron Beast, I imagine, if they can.
I'm guessing they will move up, stay out of the range of the Iron Beast, so they can pounce on the Juggers next turn.
Yep. Now, an interesting thing that I like seeing, and this is something that makes Halflings very, very dangerous. He's doing the little clap right there. Is you notice that Dale is checking every single range as if he has 3 more inches of threat, with the possibility of him rolling a wild charge 3, which is very, very strong because it makes every move that he does, he has to think about that. And Eric could just not even go for wild charge. But it's always there looming in your head. You always have to respect it. And that's
the threat is there. Yeah.
And as the game goes on, if he forgets that just once, it can cost him a unit.
Yep. You press your luck. He rolls the big wild charge. Gets a flank on something.
And that's why I'm glad everybody's getting to see Halflings get played, because I think a lot of people think they're very underpowered. I know when them and Riftforge came out, everybody was like, what is this? But they have a lot of layered advantages. The more you play them, the more you get used to using them. And they can really hurt you. I also think, well, they also got a big boon with Thunder 2 being given to their cavalry that had Thunder 1 before. That was on the new update. Really changed the game for them.
Beefed him up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, there's Dale's body. Appreciate it as best we can. I saw a measure to a unit of poachers. I don't know. I think he's out by a little bit, which hopefully he saw. The big D. Oh, yeah. So we'll see when he pulls the trigger. Like I said, I'm hoping all of us here today get to see at least one round of combats with Brutal 3. It is the dream. It's very exciting.
Right. This wasn't a double charge, but I feel like I bought 2 units.
Yeah. It's going to be very exciting. Yeah. Now, he has his cav moved right up on those poachers right there, which doesn't give him a lot of room. But if they'd even been moved back about an inch, another gnarly thing about halflings, for anybody that doesn't play against them or with them very often, is all of their cav, because they're little halfling cav riding like dogs, they all have nimble. So they still hit on 3s. They're still defense 5. They have thunder 2, but they have nimble.
Yep.
So you mix that with Wild Charge D3, and that can turn into a nightmare very quickly. All right, here we go. Trigger pulls.
Yep. There's the centaurs going in on some poachers.
Losing that Pegasus should be interesting. We'll see if he can make it to the Harvester.
Yep.
If he doesn't put something there, Harvester very clearly will just take that unit out next turn if it wants to. Which also might be what Dale is baiting since he's throwing centaurs in first, which is a throwaway. Oh, going back.
Mind.
Oh, he's double charging.
We're going to double up with probably the regiment and just hold everything up.
He's going in. Yes.
The regiment of Forsaken. Now, the centaurs have Pathfinders, so they don't care that they're running into a forest there. The regiment will. The regiment of Forsaken.
The centaurs hitting on 3 should be pretty efficient anyway. Poachers are defense 3, so
I don't know that he really wants to kill those poachers this turn though.
Doesn't even care really.
He's right. He's keeping the juggers and now kind of the Iron Beast behind them stuck for a turn, so he can make the rest of his advance.
Now, once again, the horrifying thing, and this is what he either sees it or doesn't see it. It doesn't really matter, but and it might not even be a charge he would want, but if Derek can move some of his stuff out of the way or start moving, even the juggers all the way in the back right there, if they're in the side of the centaurs, they have that nimble. If they're within range, they can just go and hit a flank. They just turn and turn.
Looks like we just snuck the green lady up and kicked off Cloak of Death on those 2 poachers. And the Exemplar will block up the third poachers.
Yep.
There we go.
And this is what we've been seeing with Dale's list. That's very, very strong with just the 4 chaff pieces just running around, running into people. And I think the 2 exemplars have really proven to be extremely good. Like 3 Pegasus is nice, but having those 2 exemplar with the ability to just kind of like weave in and out, go wherever the hell they want every turn.
Absolutely.
It's a lot.
A mounted individual with 3 attacks that hits on 3s is so very useful.
Oh, yeah.
In so many situations.
Now, another weird thing, and this is going to be strange. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but it's an option, and that's what I like about Halflings. If he does do Brutal and he gets a 2 or a 3 and just has poachers fight this guy, even if they do 2 or 3 wounds, it's going to be like they did 5 to 6.
Yep.
For no reason.
Yep.
And
exemplars are only 11-13, so
right, exactly. So, and I believe poachers,
inspire.
I think they hit on 4s in combat as well, which is weird as hell.
They do.
And they have vicious in just melee, which is hilarious when you think about it.
Right.
All right, so this was the interesting thing I was seeing right here. Is he within 16 and is he getting charged? Because it looks like he is, and I don't understand that move.
Could be planning to get the Braves out of the way and let the Juggers in the back come in when the Harvester sticks. Because he might not kill the Harvester with a front charge. Big shield.
Like I said, I can't tell if that's the Sharpness unit or if that's the Blessing unit or just a normal one, because he doesn't have them really differentiated that I can see.
Yeah.
He probably just tells them colors,
Tells them the colors. Yeah.
and I don't remember them. So if it's the sharpness unit, maybe. If it's not, the defense 6, that's a tough customer.
It is. It's 13-15 on that
Yep.
harvester for nerf.
I don't believe it's inspired, but still.
It's not, but again, he
If
might
he
not care.
misses that unit of knights is going to flank them probably, and it's over.
Yeah.
They'll have Strider.
Yeah.
Or they'll be the boots. I don't know where the J Boots tab unit is. Probably over on the other side of the table.
Yeah, possibly the one behind the wall.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He keeps them so that he doesn't have to have his guy everywhere. There's Derek squatting it out. It's all about being limber.
J Boots is behind the wall. Okay, so it's all the way up there. It's the one that the Pegasus is currently fighting on the other side of the tower right now.
All right, there's the other exemplar.
And there's the other Redeemer. Chaff has been deployed.
Yep. And we shall see if Derek actually saw that coming or not, if he was fine with it. He doesn't look too worried. He's just moving back and forth dancing.
I mean, he definitely backed that harvester by the tower up and turned it so that the Pegasus that was in the woods that is now in with the juggers.
He said D6, I'm not worried. Derek, okay. I mean, Derek could have 2 units left, and he'll sit there and tell you he's not worried. I wouldn't go off that as confidence.
Right.
That's just mental trauma.
He definitely moved the that harvester back and checked to make sure that the Pegasus was in its flank and therefore couldn't fit anywhere.
Right, but not the exemplar.
Not the exemplar. So he doesn't really care about the exemplar in the front.
I mean, he's gonna have to eat the exemplars at some point.
Yep.
Like, may as well get him locked in early and see if he can do something with it.
See if we can see what's going on for these dice rolls.
All right, so where are we going right now? So I imagine we're in combats already because he doesn't really.
That is a lot of 5s and 6s. Oh god, and a lot of 1s.
Oh, and then we just went back to hell.
All right, so 8 wounds with centaurs. And
there's
a 9. And
there's
a 9. An 8, sorry. Yeah, so that does pick up the poachers.
Those big rolls right out the gate.
Yep.
All right, well.
That does free up the juggers behind, but, I mean, they're basically looking at centaurs and a regiment of Forsaken that Dale doesn't really care that much about.
An interesting thing here is Dale just moving his units up and keeping them out, not really pulling the trigger super hard. He's just going to wait for Derek to have to deal with the centaurs and the regiment, and then he's going to charge after. So he's just trying to give himself that advantage.
Yep.
And we'll see if Derek had planned on that somewhat and is able to play through it.
Yep. So
that's a hard thing to play through. Really is.
Yeah, it is. This is chaff. This is the first wave of chaff being deployed to cover the advance of the hammers.
And OGL, they're a blunt instrument, but I mean, getting hit in the face with the hammer is very effective.
Looks like the exemplar powered through 1 wound on a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but does not pick up the harvester. And the other one on the poachers, probably.
2 wounds on the poachers, most likely.
Not going to pick him up unless he rolls really, really high there. Oh, now they're on 13. They're 13, 15.
Yeah. Also, I think he has his rally up right now. His rally 2.
That's right. They're rally 2.
So they should be fine. But we'll see what we got.
Right. Pegasus. Pegasus maybe squeezes a wound through on some juggers, but not enough to get anything. That's fine. He just wants him in the way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Bottom of 2.
Bottom of 2.
So this is going to be a very, very interesting turn. Not even to see how Derek deals with the units he's in combat with, but how he sets up to receive the counter charge, which actually very well may be this game. Which is one of the horrifying things of watching OGL or other Alpha Strike armies such as it is. The game can be determined on turn 2 and 3, just right out the gate.
Yep.
If you don't prepare for it the right way. Yep. So we'll see.
All right, so flip the camera around so we can see what he's doing behind the tower there.
Yep. All right, so he's trying to get the charge on, I believe, the centaurs and just ignore the exemplar. Could be good, could be bad, because then the exemplar is free to run around as he sees fit. There's Dale's body again. Dale, get out of the way of the camera.
That's all right. That's fine. He is checking this angle. Is very close.
Yeah, he is.
Trying to see if that harvester can get away from that individual. It's got him pinned down at the moment.
Yep, and we'll see. There he goes. He's just looking at it. I think he's just putting. If he has 2 proxy bases, it would work pretty well. And if I had to guess, it looks like if Derek can get in there, he'd be more than happy to give away the Harvester to save his cav for the time being. I don't know if he's going to be able to do this. Looks like they're still discussing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Yeah, because he has it both fit in there that way. I mean, unit slides in clean.
Okay, he's
Looks
talking
like.
about the hit and slide. All right, cool. We're going. I hope he gets the Centaurs. He will. Now, what does suck is they are defense 4, and he did suffer a wound, so he lost his Thunder 1, so he's crushed 1. So sadly, instead of those sweet 2s, he's wounding on 3s, which I do realize that he's flanking, but also a Harvester has variable attacks.
Yep.
So he could roll a 1 on that, and then he's wounding on 3s and hitting on 3s. They could
Yep.
live, which would be horrible. All right, so he's moving back and doing a nimble. We talked about the nimble. Let's do what he wants.
Yep. Nimble Cav.
I think that is the Brew of Strength Cav, too. They are crushed 1 Thunder 2. The horror of it is going to be that guy getting into them, but it looks like he's checking to make sure that if he does charge, it'll be in the side, which will not hinder them to charge somebody back. The poachers are going in to the mini Forsaken, and so is the Iron Beast. And everybody, we're not forgetting that that is actually a forest, so the Forsaken are not going to be able to see that cav.
That's right.
All right, there's his little captain on the Arrowlez, if you guys see him behind there, the one who gives everybody Strider. Just lurking. For now, you can see the yep, there they go for the flank. They're going to have Strider as well, which is going to be weird if he does it.
So here he's doing his smart charge there. So the poachers that were in the front of that Redeemer that got charged last turn have slid all the way over to make room in the flank for that Horde to come in and fit. The Horde just has to be able to touch that Redeemer before they run into the poachers, which they should be able to do, pivot on the spot and walk straight over to it.
Oh, absolutely. And just very interesting to see, like I said, you can see a lot of stuff getting hit by that cav up front. In the next turn if he clears a bunch of it, but you just see those very brutal cav units just lying in wait behind everything, and they've got the nimble, they can have wild charge, they'll have strider. It's just a lot of stacked things. And if he's so inclined, even with the wild charge, he has both of the sorcerers around the middle. He could even do one of them with his wild charge, one with brutal.
Yep. All right,
so
he's going to take his flank on the individual there, coming out of the terrain.
You see the double fists.
Yep, but with the Strider aura from
Halfling strong, baby.
The sure-footed captain there, yeah.
All right, he's going in to provide himself with being in terrain to do a hindered if, in fact, Dale does decide to charge with that unit on the right. They are discussing unforced errors versus story time ending for this game, and I hate that so much. I hate that so much.
That's not a thing. It's not a thing, people.
It's not a thing.
Real games don't have that shit.
Fuck. Vampire the Masquerade does. It's not a real game, but
that's different. That's a role-playing game.
It is. One could argue AOS is now a role-playing game. All right, so there we go.
One could argue AOS is a role-playing game.
So we saw the Saucer, I think, just rolled for something over there. Rally 2. So he's just keeping stuff up. He didn't move that Saucer, so I don't know if the Exemplar is going to go and try and take him down next turn because he is exposed.
Yeah, you might have right. Yeah, he's checking line of sight there. You can see across. You see across the poachers. You're tall enough.
He might be charging him.
Oh.
He already did his charges here, so he already has the Strider applied.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what he's doing there, if he wants to do it. Oh, no, okay, so he's doing a protect the flank over on the halfling so that guy cannot be charged.
Yeah.
Which is pretty smart.
We're hiding the sorcerer from the Exemplar.
That is the Strider guy.
That's the strategy. Oh, okay, the captain.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. His sorcerers are on foot. That's right.
Yep. I can't see his other sorcerer right now. I know he's there somewhere.
Let's check the other angle, see if we can spot it.
There's the one in the building. The other one was over there. Oh, there he is. He's right there. Or no, he's moving him back. I'm sure he's there somewhere, lurking in the darkness. He might actually be tucked away right in there. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, here goes the Cav. You better check that range. Behind the behemoth. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, cool. So we have rally. Do we have rally on both saucers right now, Sean?
Okay, hasn't rolled
No,
the other
just
one
the
yet.
one current. Okay, so he's figuring out what he'll do with the other one, I guess. All right. Hopefully he'll kill that Pegasus. If he doesn't, that's going to be very bad.
Looks like he's trying to position us, stay in the front of the Forsaken, but maybe prevent the double charge on the Juggers between the Iron Beast and the building.
Yep.
Or maybe try to squeeze it so the even Forsaken Knights can't fit in at all against the Juggers between the Iron Beast and the building.
Yep. Be very, very good for him if he can do it.
Yeah.
The
Go, little Braves, you can do it.
Dear Sweet Braves.
You get that ring to Mordor. You can do it.
I do have a worry for this with the Braves. Depending, well, if he kills the Pegasus, he can turn, so it won't matter. For a second, I was kind of like, if he does the Forsaken into the Braves and kills them, he can turn and be out of their angles. But if the Juggers kill that Pegasus, which for his sake, I really hope they should, he can turn them however he wants, so it'll be fine.
Yep.
All right. I think he's popping. He's doing something for
getting the other sorcerer into position before he rolls.
Yep.
So he can get the other Iron Beast in. All right, bottom of turn 2. So Dale moved up aggressively, sent in a wave of chaff last turn, picked up.
All right, so luckily he is moving this saucer to hopefully not be able to get hit by that Redeemer or the Cav, which would be glorious.
Yeah.
Right now, I believe they're most likely both talking about intent and how he can fit that in, if that's okay, which is things you should be talking about with your opponent in every game.
Yeah, these boys have not wasted any time. It is the bottom of turn 2, and we are well into it here.
Yeah, and I mean, for Dale, I don't think there was any other way to go about it, because it's the same thing. He does have a very off-strike army, but Derek has shooting. Can't just sit there and get shot.
Can't just sit back and wait. And also, like we were saying for this scenario, he wants to clear shit, so he's got time to come pick up tokens without sacrificing speed.
Longer he stays out, worse it gets for him.
Worse it gets for him.
Give Derek no time. Don't let him breathe.
All
right, I don't even. We're looking at power moves with the rolls right here.
Yep, I think that's just Iron Beast shooting at something across the table there. Centaurs. Look like he's picking off the Centaurs on the hill.
Yep.
Because all the rest of his shooting is engaged at this point.
Yep. Moving to combat, straight up.
Right, so here's the Pegasus. The Jugger's getting punching the Pegasus, rather.
And they hit on 3s because they are nightmares. Very solid unit. Very solid unit. Looks like some decent wounds. Wounded on, I believe, 3s.
Yep. 5 wounds, and there's a 10.
A 10, that should do it. Oh, that was, you know. You always worry about those chaff rolls.
Yep. Especially when you only do 5 wounds and you're like, all right, I need a 7. A 6 and they're wavered and it's still stuck in my way and I'm still going to get charged. What are we going to do? Sidestep behind the beast here?
You're being beckoned. Go ahead, buddy. All right, so right now we're looking at Derek. He's really, really measuring out if these Forsaken can fit to crush them. Which is going to be brutal if that does go off. No one is going to be excited about that. He's going to see if backing up changes the charges. I don't know how far away he is. I think he's just going to measure out an inch and see if that gets him outside of 20, or if it makes the charge impossible somehow. All right, he's back. We're going to see what he does here. He might have gotten caught and might not have realized it. I'm not sure. Yep, we're going back to what we're doing there. He has to take the charge from one of the units. So I think he's seeing if that will do anything. Yep, just measuring things out. This is going to most likely be a very, very important decision because that flank doesn't have tons of things on it, so he needs something to work. He got an inch. I don't know if that's what he wanted, if he's cool with that. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, so on to combats we go. All right, I imagine that's the Harvester in the flank. Hitting on 3s like a champion. Decent roll, start. I believe we're only wounding on 3s, though, not 2s. Because we lost the Thunderous 1 from when he took a wound. Pretty good. That is a healthy amount of wounds right there. It's 11 wounds. All right, we got something. And they're inspired off of someone, I suppose. And he picks them up. All right. Pretty good so far. Nothing too horrible. Yeah, Ryan's very loud, but we can't do anything about that. It's just how it has to go. How it has to go. Enjoy the gamers having fun. As we go into Masters, we're going to look more at noise cancellation, but bear with us, people. We're trying to figure the streaming thing out from the ground up. We are neither of us audio-visual technicians of any sort, so we're just piecing it together like mutants as best as we can. You know? So, all right, we're seeing some wounds just going across the line. We're going to see if he can take out this Exemplar. I imagine that's actually pretty big if he can't. Looks like some decent wounds in there. I'm trying to see, just because. Is this? Nope. He's the one who has the control over this. I'll let him do that. All right, so very, very good. He was able to take both of those out, which is pretty gnarly so far. So that's a great position for Derek to be in thus far. We'll see if he can get the Exemplar, which if he doesn't, the Braves could just be destroyed.
Yeah.
Not the worst thing that's happened. They're fucking Braves, but still.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's flip the camera around. Okay. Stuff has happened.
Yep, we're just doing some hit and wound. So what you missed, Mike, and we'll just go over it real quick.
Yeah.
He was able to take out the Pegasus, what you left with. He repositioned and moved over an inch with the cav.
Yep.
He was able to successfully kill both of those units in the center where the woods were.
Yep.
And right now he's trying to take out the Exemplar. We'll hope he gets it. I mean, if he doesn't, having that flank just open is really rough.
Okay. So he picked up the Regiment of Forsaken, and he picked up the Pegasus. Right? That's what was over there?
He picked up, and he also picked up the Regiment.
Oh, the Centaurs. The Centaurs.
Picked up both. So
okay.
Successfully deleting a lot of chaff. And like I said, the turn, the importance of this turn isn't entirely him clearing that. The importance of this turn is going to be, did he formulate after clearing them to position his army correctly so that Dale's countercharge, which is him finally pulling the trigger with his main army, will that just break Derek in half?
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge turn. Yep. Dale's next turn will probably be one of the biggest turns in the game.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, absolutely, because like Dale sent in his wave of chaff to cover his advance. You expect Derek to be able to clear it, but to have to pull up enough force to clear it And now Dale needs to go in and destroy everything that Derek pulled up to clear his chaff.
Yes. And I'm
And
not
then-
sure that the only thing I'm not sure of is if Dale expected some of that stuff to stick in hopes that it would block some of it up, and none of it stuck. So that's very interesting in itself. And the other big thing, and this could be a game changer because we haven't had this in the other games that we've seen Dale play, is that both of his Pegasus are gone,
Already gone, yeah.
and one of his exemplars is already gone. So he only has one exemplar left out of his 4 chaff pieces. That's pretty gnarly. And there's Derek going to use the bathroom again. Sunday mornings, baby.
I think we are just about ready to move to the top of turn 3.
Yep, I would say so. He has nothing left at this point. He already did all his comments, so we are, in fact, going to turn 3.
Top of turn 3. Here we go. All right. All right. So this is it. Turn 3, the turn when shit happens.
Yeah.
So Dale has moved up. Dale has sitted his first wave of chaff to try to clear chaff and block things up. He successfully cleared chaff, but he doesn't really have anything blocked up anymore. And so now his wave of hammers, his Alpha Strike wave of hammers have to go in and crush enough. But Derek has a lot of stuff kind of still on the back row there. He's still got all his cav on the back row. So I feel like even if Dale clears all of that front row of stuff, he's still going to eat Juggers next turn.
Yeah, and the important thing to note also, for what it is, both of his Iron Beasts are still totally healthy and fine, and both of his Harvesters are still there, just hanging out like creeps. But yeah, the cav units just really, really damage people. Like I said, we're going to see what the Exemplar does, because I think he has a lot of interesting avenues, and Dale is very, very clever with his Exemplars that I've seen in the 2 games that I've seen him play. So he might even get him with something that we haven't even thought of.
Yeah, I mean, he could put him into the flank of something coming down from that tower. He could punch one of the Juggers to at least take away their Thunderous next turn.
One. Yep.
No
Actually, all their Thunderous. Their Thunder too. Yeah.
Their Thunder too. So take away all of it. His defense 5 units. I mean, of course, one of them has Brew of Strength, but that makes him wound on 4s instead of 2s.
Right.
Because again, the sure-footed captain with the Strider Ore is right down there by the pond. So certainly any charges that Derek makes with the Cav or the Harvester on the back row next turn are going to have Strider. Yep. Which might be like this is what playing Halflings is like. It's like I thought it was okay, but then I forgot that guy had an aura, so all those charges are unhindered. Oh shit, that was a bad idea.
I will say, the last time I played Derek, I full on, hey, I'm gonna move zombie trolls up. This unit of zombies, I'm gonna be in the pond. Maybe the zombie trolls will make it. He hits on 4s instead, and of course he just moved that dude over. It was like, oh, everything has Strider, and ran it all into me. So I sat there and positioned all this stuff for 5 minutes for no fucking reason. I got nothing out of it. I was like, all right, yeah, right. Always forget. So
we are playing Plunder for those folks who have joined us recently. Yep. They have not picked up any tokens yet. The token in the very center of the board and the token just below it from this camera angle are the 2 that are worth 2 points, which is why most of the units are crowding around the middle of the table trying to pick up those 4 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I'm very excited. If Dale just moved back the Forsaken. So if anybody has followed along with the previous games, and once again, this also talks about now you're undefeated going into round 4, things like that. It's a lot more cautious. Each game you see more and more cautious. We'll see what he does.
And also, reminding people these guys' battle points are 1 point away from each other, and the next table down is just 1, 2, 3, and 4 is just a single point step down in the battle standings right now. It is super close at the top.
You guys can see Dale looking at every possibility, just checking to see the fitting point of even charging the Braves over on the bottom of the table. That's got to be Ed.
That's Ed. That's Ed. Ed and Ireland are over there having
every goddamn time.
Ed is like a character from a sitcom, I swear.
Ed is like a fucking creature from the swamps. You ever seen Harry and the Hendersons? He's Harry.
Yes, he is. I was just thinking, like, if there was ever a young Homer Simpson TV show, that's Ed.
Yep. Like, that's not actually his real brother. His brother's family just hit him with a car and just took him
Just hit
home
him
because he
with a
didn't die.
brought him home from the
Yep.
forest.
Yep. He lives in the basement. Don't be fooled. So yeah, Dale definitely looking at all of his options right now and putting a lot of thought into what he's going to do. Definitely more than he had in the previous games. Like I said, pressure of just, hey, we're on round 4 and we're both undefeated. I can imagine always plays in the back of your head somewhere.
It's a tough call. And
Sid.
round 3 here, like Alpha Strike Army, this is the turn you want to send everything in and punch, but he's looking at it
Yep.
like, okay, but Derek's good at setting traps. If I send anything in, am I just gonna lose all of it? Because he's got another line behind it. Like,
And the other nightmare of it too is Derek has played against OGL so many times,
yep,
and I don't know how many times Dale's actually played against Halflings.
I don't know. But
And you can always think about it. You can always think out, oh, well, I know this, but until you actually
Yep.
play against it, you never really know the full on the board versus on paper.
Yeah, all the
Theory.
synergies.
Yeah, Theory
Yep.
Hammer.
Theory Hammer. Yeah,
The
totally.
best.
And
One
so,
of my favorite games.
props to Dale for being like, I have time on my clock. After this turn, this game is going to go very fast. So
absolutely.
I might as well make very careful choices. Hey, now.
So we're going to see Justin Lengo watching this stream later. It's going to turn into something else entirely.
I'm going to have to add some tags to make sure this shows up in search
sensor
on
bars
YouTube
in there
appropriately. We might attract a whole new demographic that I don't know that I want.
We're about to see this viewership go up by 30%. It's going to be good. Yeah, Derek has confirmed this is for Langle. We did it.
So just in case anybody was wondering whether this is live or not, there's proof right there.
Yep. Yep. So this will be interesting to see, I guess. He still hasn't really pulled the trigger.
So we threw the green lady back there and just Cloak of Death, all of those things. That's what's going on now. Is Derek's
okay, so he's going.
Getting like 5 or 6 units with Cloak of Death. So he's softening everything up, and then he's going to make his choices.
By the way, we did, in fact, I believe, see the Exemplar going to the side of the Juggers.
Yep, he has.
And if I'm seeing this correctly, if he put the Green Lady there and having the Exemplar there, as he could move past the Green Lady, you cannot end a pivot on a character. So he might have actually locked those Juggers down with Master Play. That's incredible, actually.
Interesting. Thinking about doubling up on a Harvester to make sure you kill it. And just getting position. Just getting the tower in the way so the other Jugger and the Iron Beast can't see you. Okay. Lock the Juggers down. Yep. Be a little cautious with it. Check the line of sight around the building. Yep.
Somebody just asked about time, like.
Yeah, he asked if we were. He was asking if we were doing dice down or finish the phase, and we are doing finish the phase.
Yes.
Just because I like it, because I
think it's a great idea.
Right, it's a situations like this where you spend a lot of time on your clock, you make all your decisions, and then if you get down to the last round and you're running out of time, you're like, shit, I have to try to finish all these combats, and like you try to roll really fast, and it gets sloppy, and it's like, okay,
it's sloppy. It makes people upset in general.
Error prone, yeah.
And honestly, like if you both know that's what it is going into it, preparing your turn, this guy may run out of time, but he'll get to roll. Like from the get-go, right. So it's fine.
You spend your time making decisions on what you want to do.
I think you have less when you do clock, which does happen every now and then. I think it just makes you feel less horrible about it in terms of like, at least I can finish my thought.
Yeah.
So I think it's the way to go.
Yeah. I would rather you spend your time making your decisions and not have to worry about how much time it takes you to just roll nerve checks a couple of times,
Yep. So we'll see. I think Dale's making really good decisions right here. The Green Lady move was really, really fucking intense.
Yeah, geez. Anytime you can get a 5-wound Cloak of Death out, or a 6-wound Cloak of Death out.
I am also very curious. Oh, he's keeping them back still.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart. Dale is look back there and be like, I see your Cav backline. I'm going to keep a Cav backline.
Yep. And it looks like he hasn't pulled the trigger on the Forsaken over there yet. I think he's just staying out of charge range and just waiting, buying him. And this goes back to Dale buying himself time.
Well, and that is the side of the
Unless he's
table that
going.
just has 1 point tokens. So
He looks like he's just measuring to stay out of range.
yeah.
Yep.
I think. All right, so we've got a double charge of Redemption Knights and Centaurs against the Harvester just below the tower there from our point of view. We have Redemption Knights going into Injured Poachers in the woods. And we got Forsaken Knights flanking the Horde of Braves. And then across the back line, we have a Redeemer into that top unit of Juggers, or that kind of middle unit of Juggers, I guess, looking at the one that's all the way on the other side of the tower.
Yep. I'm imagining that if I had to guess, that looks like 2 or 3 wounds.
A couple wounds on the Juggers in the back to take away their Thunderous. All you need. They're disordered.
I think the biggest thing out of this, honestly, is just I don't know if Derek foresaw the Green Lady, the Avatar of the Green Lady flying over there and possibly blocking that in from fighting on the right side.
Solid play.
Yeah, so once again, that's one of those things. If Derek gets surprised by something, it can start to topple really quick. I don't know if he cares about that.
I think these are probably some Centaurs.
Yep. But we'll see what happens. Four wounds from
Four wounds
Centaurs,
on the
not
Harvester
bad.
from the Centaurs. Harvester is 13-15.
Wasn't checking if the Knights came off the hill or not.
I can't remember. Harvester is, of course, defense 6 to the front.
Yep. So see what he's got. They did not. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's 3 threes and 4s. Unless
it's the sharpness or the elite
sharpness.
Unit.
I mean, it looks like a pretty decent number of hits.
It's like neither, yeah.
Let's see what we got. Oh, that looks pretty good. Yep, that looks really good.
That looks very good, yeah. 9
wounds. Plus the 4. Yeah, snakes.
That's going to be snakes, yeah. Easy peasy.
All right, got him.
All right, yep, turn the Centaurs to protect. You've already kind of got the Juggers.
Yep,
but you got to worry about that beast.
Yep, this is one of those things, too, with OGL that you see that is very interesting. Just now he's just making layers, and when they hit you, they can kill almost anything.
Yeah, don't turn those Redemption Knights too much. You get stuck behind your Centaurs.
Yep. And I think
Yep,
Eric
check that line of
even
sight.
telling him to check that. Check the 13.
13 from the Iron Beast, yep. Turn me, so I'm out of 13. That's the important part. That'd be a terrible time for Wild Charge 3 to pop up. Yeah, so maybe not exactly the placement he wanted, but the placement he needs.
Yep.
Those Knights. All right, moving on to the next combat. Probably going to do, I would guess, the Purple Redemption Knights.
The Purple
on the
Knights, yep.
On the Poachers, yep.
Dear sweet Poachers. Able to make sure he didn't get called out. So there you go. That's sportsmanship right there.
And favorite opponent votes are worth kind of a lot of points.
I would have let him get called out. I'm a piece of shit. All right, he's going. I'm sure those poachers were destined for death, so it should be fine. we knew what they're about. So we'll see if he either moves over. I don't know what the exact placement of the Knights is. If he's moving, I don't know if the Iron Beast will try and go in. Well, the Forsaken will probably kill the Braves. So we'll see. So poachers are gone. Hopefully those Forsaken kill those Braves. If they don't, that's going to look real sad.
I mean, in a flank, they really ought to.
Well, if it was Mike Gill, there's a high possibility that he would not be killing that unit of Braves. So, it's always out there. Always out there.
Yeah, 3s and 2s. 18 attacks times 2.
So we'll see how it goes. I mean, 7 to start. Pretty good.
18 attacks on 3s and 2s.
Moving a lot of dice out of there for whatever reason.
Actually, not
I didn't
great.
think he was hindered.
No, he shouldn't be. It should be 3s and 2s.
8 more, so 7 and 8, 15?
15, yeah.
I mean, they're a nerve 21, 8 twice. Well, he could probably get it. Nope.
Does not get it. That's surprising. Yeah, no, that's below average rolling for 3s and 2s.
That is pretty neat.
So that opens up their flank for that Iron Beast.
Yes, it does,
Mm.
which is pretty gnarly. I mean, the Iron Beast does hit on 4s, and he's only crushed 2. Big thing to remember, he's not a big beefy steel behemoth. All right. Derek's already moving stuff, so you can see he's already ready, thinking about what he wants to do on the turn. He is fucking ready to go. You can see that Gil down there in the comments has already confirmed that if that was him, he would have definitely failed to kill that unit, because we know. We know. The only thing that will ever make that man not roll double ones is a blood sacrifice of a human. So
That's a tall order.
it is. In 2024, it's a lot harder than it used to be.
And you'll have to do it at least once every round at a tournament. So that's 5 people you're gonna have to have lined up.
That's when in one GT, and then you're just going to jail at that point. There's no way out.
Basically.
So I see Derek just kind of talking out with Dale. There's probably going to be a lot of talking out of how to fit into places and do things. I'm sure they're going to talk about the juggers and how they're blocked with the Avatar of the Green Lady, which once again I think is probably one of the most genius moves of the tournament that I've seen. Just not being able to end a pivot on top of them. He's just very, very limited in his options going for that. And it just so happens the Exemplar is mighty, so he can't move through him at all.
Yeah. Yeah, the Exemplar is not normally mighty, but he did disorder them.
He's mighty if he does a wound to them against that unit specifically. So
yes, he is.
Oh,
disordered.
they're definitely disordered.
Yeah, so you treat everything as mighty.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, locking up that bit of Derek's back line that was going to come in to clean up is the problem.
Right, so I think he is in fact going for that flank charge.
Flank. I mean, I certainly would.
I'm trying to see if they're both going in. Oh yeah, yep, full on
triple charge.
Now the poachers once again are a very odd unit because they are shooters. They're like unit strength. 2. I think there's actually 2. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just 2.
So, but it's just the weirdness. They do in fact hit on 4s in combat. They only have 12 attacks, but they have vicious in melee for whatever reason. So even as an archer unit, like in combat, they kind of can just tack on 2, maybe 3 wounds to a combat, which in your head you're like, okay, but that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's enough to get a nerve roll completely over the not quite wavered all the way to rout, right?
Well, when you consider also just like, you know, when people are like, oh, they only do a wound or 2, it's like, all right, well, do you just see brutal as not a good rule at that point? Like, that's all that is, just adds +1. Like, everything stacks. And we'll see what he does there. I don't know if he's going to try and brutal it up finally. All right, so he's just killing that Exemplar. That's very interesting. I don't know.
There might not be enough space to charge through it and hit those Redemption Knights and not still land on.
Oh boy.
That's a sorcerer, isn't it?
Oh no, he's looking.
What happens if I?
So I think he's looking for those cav down in the bottom to go into them.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a sorcerer on foot there, just outside the woods, next to the poachers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we'll see what he does there. I think he's trying to move the saucer to make sure whatever aura he does can affect everybody. He doesn't want to move him away over here because he wants to keep the aura going. Yeah. There's the hand rub. Adrenaline pumping. So we'll see what he's doing here. That looks like the wild charge or the brutal. I'm not sure.
Brutal 2. Okay.
Brutal 2, baby.
That was brutal 2. And those that green unit of knights down just south of the brewery are Order of Redemption knights for Dale.
So he's keeping the brutal there. He's moving it out of the way to the best of his ability. He's keeping the brutal 2 there. Now the cool thing is he only needs to get brutal on 1 unit per combat, and you're good to go.
Yep.
And then these guys are going in. Now the cool thing about them, they have the nimble.
Yep.
And at this point, you just
and the Strider aura. Yep.
The Strider aura is everywhere. It's going to be beautiful. And that's what it is. Derek's just going to have to pull the trigger and start doing wounds and start working through this army. We'll see what time can tell, and it's a hard choice for Dale. Not attacking any of the units on his left side, Derek's right, but also would he have just thrown a unit away in that case, which I knew you can't do in this type of fight.
Yep.
So that could be a very, very smart move on his part. But Derek can freely move around, or he can just sit there and wait. Because at the end of the game, he's going to have more units that can pick up tokens.
Yep. So we will see what happens here in the bottom of 3.
Yep. He's just thinking it out. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Go punch the green lady.
Just punch her right in her face. that ain't no lady.
That ain't no lady. Yeah, so that Iron Beast kind of in the bottom right corner of the screen right now is actually in the flank of those Forsaken Knights that the horde of Braves and the Regiment of Poachers.
It is the lightly colored blank wooden base you see in the center.
Yep.
And just like with Dale, there's a very big chance with, of course, the Iron Beast having A, variable attacks, B, hitting on 4s.
Yep.
And C, also only being crushed 2, which he can't alter in any way.
Right.
If that unit once again lives just like the Braves did, it's going to start creating a lot of problems. So a lot of things got to go right.
Yep. Down here on the other side of the tower, he moved his other Iron Beast up. He's going to try to protect the Juggers from getting charged by those.
He's bringing them over.
Oh,
now this right here, if he kills that Exemplar, and he moves that unit right there, that is going to be intense.
Yeah, so this is the sort of thing that he did to me when I played him back in Pilgrimage that I did not expect. Is those nimble Juggers just kind of you think that they are on one side of the table, and all of a sudden they are on the other side of the table threatening you, and you're like, okay, I have to change the calculus for everything that I planned on this flank now because there's one more unit of cav looking right at me.
Yep. And I'm totally fine with redeploying things. People sometimes get weird about that because they feel like they're not making the unit like useful every turn, things like that. I can tell you, like when I used to play with a Vampire Lord on a Zombie Dragon, I would literally deploy it facing sideways. And people know if they deploy shooting units and other things opposite them, I'll just fly it 20 inches to the side on the other side of the board turn 1. I don't care. Keep them in situations where they're at the advantage.
All right, I think that was the Iron Beast shooting at the Forsaken Knights there.
Oh, yeah.
For fun.
Now, a really cool thing about this, actually, even doing 1 wounds, now at this point in the game, we know that the Green Lady is nowhere to be seen for those Forsaken, and they do not have regen. So every wound against that unit will actually count with shooting.
Was that the Captain versus the Green Lady? On the Green Lady, maybe?
Probably.
Attacks, yeah, 5 attacks. Yep. So that's a disorder for the Green Lady.
So that's 0 flying, no healing.
Yep.
If he didn't kill her, sadly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Wasn't going to with that many attacks, most likely. Right, so we got some rolls going. I imagine this is against the Exemplar. I think we'll be wounding on 4s, unless that's the Brewer Strength unit. Yeah, so it'll be wounding on 4s. Is that wounds? Oh, God.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was quite a bit. And those
that looks like... good. Yep.
All right. So
that's not a bad position.
Up that... No, it's not. Bottom of turn 3, still no tokens picked up. We are playing Plunder, and the 2 2-point tokens are kind of right in the middle of the table here. I know Dale definitely would have wanted to pick up that horde of Braves with those Forsaken Knights kind of here down at the bottom of the table. That's put him in a very rough position.
Well, interestingly enough, too, though, so now Derek has moved forward with the Harvester, so he's not going to be hindered when he charges into him with the Knights if he chooses to. But he's probably just going to say screw it with the Braves who already have wounds on them and just turn them to face the Green Knights and just let them do what they want to do. And if he charges into the Harvester and doesn't kill him, being he is defense 6, I mean, Braves, they're not the strongest thing in the world, but it's still, if they hit in the side, it's still going to be 50 attacks, something like that.
Yep. But he's got an Iron Beast over there that's already going to be kind of looking this direction. That Beast is probably going to have to turn to face the Centaurs and the other Redemption Knights.
Yes, and I believe if he kills that unit, he's going to use the Braves to just turn them to make the wall.
And block.
Against the Green Knights, yeah. Which, who cares? At that point, it's like, if you charge the Braves and kill them, Harvester's looking at you. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, just like with Dale, just rolling a little low and not getting that combat. The Iron Beast has a lot of potential with the 4s and only wounding on 3s, not 2s, and the variable attacks to just underperform.
Yep.
And it's a scary place to be in, and I do believe that those Forsaken are very easily within 6 inches of the Knights, giving them Inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. I think Derek right now is just trying to turn his unit to angle the Juggers to be invisible to someone. Yep, to Knights. Yep.
For the Knights, yep.
And he has the base underneath, which is a very smart move. To just make sure that you're doing your pivoting right, because people have a tendency to wheel instead of pivot, and it's not a knock on anybody. It's just something that happens to people, I think, naturally.
Taking front charges. Yeah, the reforming in like turn 3 after the lines have clashed is one of those things that you really only get with experience. Like you can't really theory hammer that kind of shit. Like you have to play games and get good at, okay, after I've killed this, what are all the threats around it? Which way do I face it? So it's as safe as possible for the next turn.
10 wounds
10
on the
wounds.
Knights. And a brutal 2. So he needs a 5 twice. They are gone.
That'll pick them up. Yep.
And this is what we see. I don't even know if Derek actually used his Ravenous upgrade on that to do the rerolls. We'll see if he picks up the cupcake off that thing. He might not have even needed to.
I don't think he did.
I also believe with the upgrade, and this is a really cool thing about this, he didn't. Yeah, you can actually choose to do the rerolls at the time you're looking at your die rolls, I believe.
16 attacks, 13 hits. Yep. Strider Aura, man.
Strider Aura. "32 attacks.
From the Iron Beast.
32 attacks. That's an incredible number of attacks. I
Only
believe
hit on
that's
4s, but still, that should be like 16 hits. And
yeah, I believe he rolled a 6 for his rando attacks for that, because they have 12 to begin with. Yep.
Yeah.
Good for him. All right, decent number. So now we got the 3s, and this is where things can get a little dicey. We'll see what he got. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. That looks like easily 10 to 11 wounds. 11 wounds.
11. Yikes.
Very much.
Very much.
That's before the other units attacks at all, and we have to remember we're at brutal 2, so we're already effectively looking at a 4 twice.
Yep, and they are 15, 17, and by picking up the Order of Redemption with the Juggers first, that takes away probably their only inspiring source.
Yep, that looks like more wounds right there, so we're probably already at double 1s, which is why he's not even rolling the Braves. And he gets them. They're not inspired anymore because he killed the Knight unit first, which is a very, very smart play.
Yep.
Now we're going to probably see, I imagine, he's going to measure the 16 to see what he wants to do with the Braves. So he's putting them there outside of 16, so he doesn't even have to worry about that in his decisions, which is pretty gnarly.
Yep. Yep.
And we'll see if Dale gets some hits and breaks some of these things, but right now he's giving Dale the business. But I'd still say Dale has probably move of the weekend with that block on the with the Order of the Green. I never even thought of that. I was like, damn.
He would be down another unit of Knights in the middle of the table there if he hadn't done that.
Right.
In this turn, going into
so very, very smart. Very, very smart play. I got to give that to him. We're going. We see the hand gestures. That's when you know people are having fun. You love to see it. All right, they're just talking it out right now. Yeah, they're discussing math.
Yep.
As you do.
Yep, so we're probably moving into Dale's turn now. So I'm going to go ahead and flip us over to top of 4.
Yep. Yeah, the most we have is him doing some movements. I'm not even sure. What did he do? He turned them? Yep. Yep. So here we see he's probably going to kill the Braves. And if he can move just D6 forward, he can get outside of the Harvester. If he rolls low, God help us. We got 25 minutes on Derek's clock left, 34 on on Dale's.
Yep.
But that was a very big turn for Derek. I think we can agree.
I
He's
think so.
not going to need to spend as much time probably going forward, depending on how this turn goes. We'll see if he just breaks 2 units of cav.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you at this point you just look at what options you have. You look at what your opponent has left you, either intentionally or unintentionally, and try to find the best options.
Sometimes you're just reacting.
And sometimes you're just
But
reacting. Sometimes you're like, I've got this thing in front of me that's the only thing I can hit, so I'm gonna hit it.
Yep. Now, what's cool about this, once again, this is the strength of Dale's army, and I do like it. It's very neat. Is if he kills 2 units of cav, something like that, and turns and even loses 1, he still just has knights all the time.
Yep. Yeah, and I thought that's what I'd seen there. Yep, positioning the green lady, disengaging the green lady, and positioning her
And he
to keep the
positioned the
knights out
green
of the
lady
woods.
for that, so it's a double move that he did there to foresee that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Or is he doing that just now? He just moved her.
He just moved her now.
He just moved her now. Okay, never mind. Give him too much credit.
Because she got in charge by the sorcerer.
Yep.
He disengaged her, moved her back.
It's a good move.
And here comes Cloak of Death.
Yep.
I'm guessing.
Keep it going. It's that brutal on crack.
Yep. Now, can the centaurs fit?
Just wandering around. Ooh. Like playing orcs, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's a big result. So yeah, we were just hearing first game around 4 is completed, and that's on table 3. Yeah, and that's going to be a max score from Bart Kohler, 23 points.
Mother of God.
That's big.
That's hefty.
Yeah, Bart was not in the top 4, so he was like 10 points behind 4th place.
He's getting closer.
but he just max scored.
He's back, baby.
I don't think either of the top 2 tables are going to max their score out this turn, so Bart will definitely be up in the mix.
Yeah. Well, we're only on turn 4 right now, and this is going to be brutal because depending on what Dale does and how much he has left after Derek's turn 4, we'll see what tokens get picked up by the end of this.
Yep.
I think those little goddamn Braves are going to start picking up tokens. I think they're going to do it.
I feel like they should this turn. Dale continuing to be very cagey down here on the other side of the table, trying to get those Forsaken Knights back into the game where the majority of the token points are. They've just sort of been staring down an Iron Beast and some Juggers for the first half of the game, and the Juggers just pieced out last turn to head to the middle, so he's kind of got to answer. Just add a 13 of that Iron Beast and run away and just say those 2 points can be yours. You can have them.
Yep.
Because again, we're playing plunder, which means if you pick up those 2-point tokens, you win. If you can hold them, that's where the 4 points out of 7 are.
We're going.
Right, let's flop around the other way here. Back over to the action.
All right, so we look like we're into the attacks. We'll figure out which one of these units is fighting. Count them out.
Oh, are we gonna? We are gonna mark it. Look at there. Okay, so the red. I think we're about to see Red Redemption Knights on Juggers, who just have a couple of wounds from Cloak of Death, and a couple of wounds from an Exemplar.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, I mean, they should pop those Knights. I'm not sure if the Centaurs are going to pop with only 12 attacks, but we'll see what happens.
Probably not. Yeah, those are 3s and 3s. Is this the elite unit? No.
This might be the sharpness unit. This is missed with 4.
So that'd be 2s and 3s.
Yeah. Oh, right. Ooh. Looks good enough. I mean, probably fine.
Is that
10 or 11 wounds, something like the 12?
12?
Yeah, so we're at double one.
That'll put them with snakes, yeah.
There's one.
Not a snake.
Not even, gone. All right.
But you kind of have to turn to face the juggers coming around the tower. You can't really turn towards the middle.
Yeah, there's not really much to really do there. It just is what
Yep.
it is.
That was a reaction charge. It was a smart reaction charge. Charge to
Oh,
the
yeah.
back, stay out of the woods.
Well, just do what you got to do.
But you got to turn and face the pain, as they say.
Yep.
All right, so that's 1 unit of cav down.
Centaurs.
Moving on to the centaurs. 12
Doing
attacks
it
on
with their
juggers.
mouth.
Juggers that only have, I think, a couple of like cloak of death wounds on them.
I think 1 or 2 wounds from cloak.
This is a
is where
tall
we're at
order.
with
This is a
that.
very tall order.
Well, it hits on 3s. He has Pathfinder, so that's nice. See what he's got, and I think they're wounding on quite a bit. Yeah, 4 wounds.
Only 4.
Yeah, even if he gets a waiver,
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Put him at 6. Looking for a big roll
That looks
here.
great. I think he rolled a 10 right there. Big roll. 7. I don't know if he picked him
I
up.
think
or
that's a
waivered him.
waiver. That is a waiver.
Yep. Figured as much.
That's a solid waiver. All right.
Not sure. I mean, it's wavering is wavering. It's good to go, but I'm not sure that's the unit you even care to waver because the Iron Beast's still going to flank them probably next turn. But still, just rolling snakes.
Yeah, snake the horde. Yeah, but here's the problem though. Yep, now you have to turn that one to worry about the harvester. You waiver the knights in the middle, but you're going to get an Iron Beast. But you were going to get an Iron Beast regardless.
All right.
So Dale just needs to survive the charges that are coming at him and punch back really strong. Like Dale can't really afford to lose any of these units at this point to any of these combats.
No.
But the Centaurs are definitely going to die to an
yeah,
Iron Beast.
I think the Iron Beast is going to take them in the flank.
And that's going to leave him with just a 3-scoring unit. Oh, first token picked up. That's
Nice.
a 1-point token picked up by the Redemption Knights there because at this point everything is so close they don't need speed.
Yep.
And
it'll be interesting if those juggers just run into that knight unit and just rip them up with like a brutal 2. You guys are broken today. That's rough out there.
All right. Taking a brief moment to
Bard joins the dojo chat and skyrockets weeks later in the standings.
Derek has stepped out to the bathroom one more time. It's Sunday morning and these guys are still pounding beers. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel. But yeah, so this is still with OGL it's only so neat because every unit they have just has the potential to just murder anything. So you just see even with like 2 or 3 units left, he's still alive as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
And those Forsaken Knights in the forest on the north of the hill there are now looking over here 20 inches. They can see over the hill, so they can threaten anything that comes at those 2-point tokens. But I guess
the other thing
they're going to have to deal with an Iron Beast. They're going to have to deal with an Iron Beast and Juggers on their own probably next turn.
Yeah, I'm also wondering what he's going to do with his Strider Aura character because he could try and charge the Green Lady again to shut her down, but at the same time, he won't be able to give Strider to the Harvester, who does not have an A Pathfinder.
Okay.
And he'll lose a Thunderous as well as hitting on 4s, which you do not want to do against defense 5 Knights, especially once the regen.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's possible that Dale kind of like saw the writing on the wall there and was like, all right, my Knights are about to get stuck fighting a defense 6 unit in the front that they're going to get charged by first. I'm going to pick up a token, so if I'm stuck fighting him for the rest of the game, at least I'm scoring something.
I think I just saw Dale have 3 beers in his hands at one point right there, so he's just going.
He drinks that stuff like it's water. Vanguard GT, sponsored by Anheuser-Busch, 2024.
Yep.
Make checks payable to, if you're listening, anyone at InBev.
All right, so let's see what we got. Yep. the point and click.
Yep. All right.
So we'll see what we got here. Very interested to see where he goes with this guy.
Punch the Green Lady. Give your boy Strider. The regen roll that maybe was forgotten last time? No?
Oh, he told her to do her regen. When she moved, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
There we are again, Derek, the gentleman, as always.
Okay, so the captain is going in the rear of the Red Knights, and
Oh,
the
we're
fresh
just
stars are going
going.
in the front. Yep, I think.
That's probably our failed brutal roll.
Yeah, I think he's like, I need to pick up some Redemption Knights that don't already have tokens on them. The ones that already do, we can just lock up for the rest of the game.
Oh, that's the saucer right there. Maybe he was going for rally or something.
Yeah.
Or wild charge, one of those things. Yeah, that could be the brutal roll, and that might be a 2. Brutal 2.
We're making Steve Hildrew question life here. See, that's how we do it. The hospitality is so great. When you're not playing games, you think this place is great, and as soon as you get on the table, it's just murder.
Yeah, you learn things. Horrible, horrible things.
Things that man was not meant to know.
Yep. So Derek, just playing through, I'm actually surprised to see the Harvester go in on its own, but I guess he's looking towards the tokens at turn 4, which is fine. I would worry about the withdrawal flank charge personally, but I think he might be. He is contemplating life.
And this is where those couple of extra drops of Derek for character coming in really, really handy. Like they've
Having
been
pieces
kind of
to move freely. Yep.
Yeah, they've been kind of trading units one for one, but that's kind of the problem.
Yep. And a pretty gnarly thing that I like, you already see that the Braves are going for that 1 token over there. And you see the Iron Beast just coming towards the center. Such a durable piece if he starts picking up those 2 tokens. And only danger that I would really have in my mind would be if Dale decides to turn those cav around and just go murder the Braves and start taking points near the end of the game. But we'll see. He might need this unit to start punching the center. Moving to combat.
All right. All right, doing the flank first. Looks like.
Mm-hmm. Ew.
Dice go everywhere. 22 attacks.
Healthy. That will wound on 2s against these guys. So that is nice.
Well, hold
He's
on.
got
22
that.
attacks. It's 10 plus D6, so he rolled a 1. But it's Centaurs.
Wounds on 2s. That looks like some meaty fucking rolls right there. Oh, yeah. Still gets him. Woo!
Okay.
Woo! All right, we got some more games coming in, it looks like. People finishing up in pretty quick order, actually, this round, which is pretty cool. All right, and we are measuring out everything here. I think we're trying to see what the 20 inches is for this cav unit, see if they can get to the second Iron Beast. Very, very careful placement and moving. I think he's outside of the 20 inches, or he's trying to see if he can be. He looks like he's outside of that 20. So we have an Iron Beast coming back into the fray to fight the Knights. And we are outside of 20 inches of the Forsaken, so they have no chance of charging next turn. That's a very, very brutal power play there. So now we have the back guy, the guy on the Aralez going in, the captain, as it were. I think we're looking at maybe 2 wounds, maybe 3, 4.
All right.
Healthy. I think I see the cupcake on top of those guys, so they do still have their army-wide upgrades popping the fruit.
Popping the fruit.
There it goes.
All right.
Popping the fruit.
Getting some rerolls.
All right, there's some misses, and he gets to re-roll 3 of those, which is just hitting on 3s. Very, very cool. It gets 3 conversion right out the gate. 14 hits.
And 16 attacks. Ugh.
Yeah, we're looking at, I think, 3s to wound. There's 1, and possibly 2. Awesome. Brutal with 2.
Yep. 2. Huge.
Huge thing.
Big swing there. All right. And just like
Hangovers
that,
make games quicker. Yeah.
Dale is down to 2 scoring units.
Yep. He's just heading towards the green lady. We'll see what he does here, if he just pops and moves his guys to the side. I don't know if they're within 20 or even line of sight of the Forsaken. Probably not even in line of sight of the Forsaken, I would say. All right, we're just going. 4 extra attacks for the Harvester. I believe it. I can't. I think it was hindered. It's only hitting on 4s, and I think only wounding on 4s. Looks like maybe nothing. Can't tell. I was doing 1 wound. It happens. All right, so not a bad turn for Derek at all. That's his bottom of 4, so he's we're going to top of 5. We'll see if Dale can pull some magic out and just murk something. Other than that, Derek is going to have the next 2 turns to try and start picking up some of these tokens. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure if the Knights are going to be able to escape fighting the Iron Beast, who I believe has Strider innately, so he doesn't even need the Strider Aura to pop out of those woods and hit on 4s anyway. The Green Lady is she's free to do what she wants to do this turn, so we still have the Cloak of Death. We still have the heals available, not that she really needs it right now. I mean, there's only really a wound or 2 across the table right now on Dale's side, which is fine. So he keeps moving here. I guess he's just trying to make these guys as relevant as he can. Just trying to stay out of ranges to the best of his ability of the 13 inches possibility. I'm not sure entirely what his plan is with the Forsaken near the end of the game. It might be a play for wait for Derek to pick up a 2 token and then charge that unit
then
near
charge
the end
them.
of the game and grab the 2.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty awesome move when you think about it. My worry is if the Iron Beasts go and pick up those 2 tokens and don't get flanked, he will probably not be able to break them with Forsaken. Is that Mike? That is Mike.
Probably.
He's fine. They're checking the line to be sure it stays outside the behemoths.
Yep. Yep. You want to get in position to be able to threaten everything, but you don't want that lucky wild charge to pick up one of your last, 2 scoring units?
Yes. All right, so they hit the Braves in the side. I noticed there on that, so
yeah, the Green Knights have turned. Yep.
Should be able to pick them up.
But then when you have to walk forward enough to make sure the Harvester can't see your rear, but you're still going to eat an Iron Beast in the face.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think Dale is basically just running out of units here.
He is, but I think he's definitely doing what he needs to do, which is just try and stay relevant and maybe just hope for the turn 6 or 7. Maybe I pick up, a token or 2, and maybe it ends up being a draw or something of that nature. So we'll see. We look like we have more and more results coming in right now.
We do. Let's see if anything particularly spicy has come in.
Bart just taking the lead right now, I guess.
Yeah, with the max score. Bart got a 23. Boehner also got a 23.
Yep.
Over Brad. That's going to be big.
Oof.
Joey Greek.
Thirdhammer might be taking the cup home this weekend.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Yep.
That puts Boehner at 69 points. Nice. Just below Bart's 72.
Yep.
Alex Chavez is currently sitting at 63. And Dale is 62. So currently Bart is 10 points ahead of Dale and 11 points ahead of Derek. So we'll see how big the wins are here.
Yep.
A small win.
Alan taking down Brad was big for the points there too.
Very big.
I wonder if we'll end up seeing if Derek does pull this out. That might be Bart versus Derek.
That would probably be Bart versus Derek.
Not that I think Dale is down and out entirely, but it would be very neat for our round 5. Who would have thunk it to see Night Stalkers versus fucking Halflings?
Halflings. Yeah.
How did we get here? That's awesome.
Mm.
So we'll see. Yeah, he's really, really contemplating this Forsaken move right here. I see Alan turning back and pointing at me like a fuck. What do you want to say? Okay, that's better.
In Masters, yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, Alan, I ain't in the top 8. That ain't me. Yeah, no one ever does. On Brad, he likes that though. Yep.
All right, let's switch over to the other camera angle
Yeah,
so
but
we
they're
can see
just
what's going on.
Those are nightmares.
Did you say 5 snake eyes?
5 snake eyes back and forth
in the same combat?
Yep.
Good God.
Hate to see it, or love to see it. I don't really know. All right, and stay with me, guys. Here, so a lot of stuff on the
Jesus
Forsaken.
Christ.
Just a lot of measuring. He's been contemplating this Forsaken move, I think, for the last 3 to 4 minutes. Very important for him. And then now we have the green Avatar, the Green Lady, moving away.
Yeah. Need some
He's gonna
inspiring
be
over
very,
there.
very careful. Very, very careful not to get her charged.
You get light, you can influence a couple things per game. You know what? That is fair. You can influence a couple of things. It does do a really good job of making your heroes look like badasses. Okay.
All right, there we go.
So that like if a hero fights a weenie and you want to kill that weenie, you can do it.
All right, we'll see what we got here.
Look around the other way.
Also, dude, you can run like 650.
All right, so let's see where we're at. So there's some regen. He's definitely got some attacks to do. Yep. we know, Derek.
Do you want to just snake those?
Yep.
Yes. How about it? Yeah. Yes.
Picks them up,
Okay.
as you do. All right. Well, we'll see.
Pick your poison. I mean, he's got
might be just doing a D3 move over.
Move over to hopefully steps back enough to get out of the. I think it's probably he's checking right now to make sure 1 inch is enough to get out.
I think it might be 2, but I can't tell what he rolled. But it seems like it'll probably be enough.
Looks like he got more than 1. Yeah.
Yep, I think he got a 3.
That's fine.
Yep.
He will still have to contend with that Iron Beast, but as long as he survives, he will keep that 1 point. And currently, that is the only token that is being held.
Now, Derek has 2 turns to mess with that. We'll see what happens there. And also, the Forsaken just sitting on the hill outside of the range gives him a great position to just kind of hang out.
Yeah, but those Braves all the way up at the hill at the very top of the screen can easily walk over and pick up 1 1-point token this turn. For Derek, there's nothing up there to stop them, and that would give him a tie at that point before we even get to the rest of the tokens. So, and that unit's not doing anything else this game anyway, so that's an easy thing for him to do. And that's going to be bottom of 5, trucking right along here.
Oh yeah. Yep, and I'm sure if he measures that out, the Iron Beast is going to be there to threat. But on top of that, if he needs to move over 2.5 inches, I'm sure he can pick up that loot token.
Yep.
If he measured it out, he might be able to run to grab the 2. We'll see what happens there. Dale doesn't have a lot of units left, but once again, depending on how he plays this out, or if he takes a unit at the end of the game, they could very easily tie, or he might even be able to pull out a 1-point victory. God only knows. Yep. It's going to depend on how Derek plays this. You got to be careful.
I mean, there's a world where the Juggers just walk forward, each of them picks up a 2-point token and looks at the Forsaken Knights and is like, you can kill one of us.
That's true.
And the Iron Beast will pick up the other token up top, and it'll be a 4-3 no matter what happens.
Right. Now, if he moves this guy and just kind of turns him, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, got to get away a little bit to get room to turn on the chariot base.
Yep. Yeah, I would just turn it to full 90. Yep, and he's just making sure if he needs to, he has one more piece
Yep.
that can run and
He's
pick
got
up
one
that
more
2.
piece that can get it. Yeah.
Very important. He might even, if they don't kill the Iron Beast, that could be pretty. Oh god. Yep. That's great placement.
Yeah, I think barring some really surprising events, I think Derek's got this at this point.
Yes. But we'll see what happens.
All right, Sorcerer's rolling. Wild charges being checked now, probably.
Is he out on both?
Yeah, just
Wild charge
with
1.
one. Probably not as much as he would like.
Nope. All right, just putting him behind the woods, just keeping him out of the way. It's not going to matter. We'll see what we got. All right. I think he's just going to run out, grab himself a 2. Oh, no, he's going. Oh, he's going. He got one of them.
Yep.
I don't know if he's underneath that 2 or not, if he can just take that at the end of the phase.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell from this angle, and can't see it from
Definitely
the
hard
other
to tell from that
angle.
angle. I guess he could just go and pick it up with them. Yeah,
With the other
it
one,
doesn't matter. All right, so there's a 2. And then I guess he's going for the turn. Yeah, he's just off of it. I mean, honestly, turn 6.
Ready? You guys want to eat?
Yep. Turn 6, honestly, if the Iron Beast just doesn't die,
No, I'll get some. Thank you.
the Harvester just picks up that 2 anyway. That's kind of fucking gnarly. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Lunch is ready. If you want to tell whoever's wandering around that's done, lunch is ready.
All right, well, we'll see what he's got. Do a few wounds to these Forsaken. They can definitely see over the Juggers with their height 4, which is kind of weird. Figure out if anything happens with that. We're doing shooting right now.
All right, got an Iron Beast that can shoot somebody, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I guess.
Who's it shooting at? Green Lady, I guess?
10 shots at the Green Lady. It's got to be. There's no other viable targets.
Yeah.
That's probably cover and something else. Might need 6s. Or 5s? Can't tell. He's going.
Yeah, a couple wounds of the Green Lady, not going to be a problem for her.
Most likely not.
13, 15 character, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's serious.
So now the question really is, how big is this win going to be for Derek, and
yeah,
how
so
far ahead of Bart does it put him?
Yep. We got 3 extra things there. Moved into combat. So he's running, I think, 15 attacks, hitting on 4s. And we got wounding on 3s.
No.
Oh, this is on the Forsaken, okay.
Okay, yep.
Well, all he needs to do is just do a few wounds to just kind of ground them for the time being.
Yep.
I think they're fine. Now we're on the Redemption with 4 wounds. Here we go. Top of 6. All right, so we're moving to top of 6. 1 regen. Just moving right along.
Kind of like we thought. Like once we got past round 3, it was all going to be.
Yeah, it was going to be big turns. So we'll see. I mean, he might do some withdrawal charges, things like that, if he can. Some of the issue is going to be seeing things over the Iron Beast. But we'll see what they do.
There we go.
I don't think there's not really a whole lot of options because there's not a lot of nimble. He just moved the Cav back, which is interesting. Oh, he's just making sure that the Harvester can't get them. He's trying to hold on to his tokens.
Every point does matter. Even if Dale doesn't win this, the cup, right?
The
cup is very important. And I think, as everybody can tell at this point, Nerdhammer and Dojo are the 2 clubs nearest the top. So even if Dale doesn't win here, every victory point that he can take can contribute to the club winning the cup.
Yep.
So that is smart overall play. Thinking about the whole tournament, thinking about everything that's up for grabs.
Correct. Yep, and it's Joe Ferry's birthday. Fuck you, Joe.
Happy birthday, Joe Ferry.
The man, the legend.
Having a little bit of a delay on some of the cameras here. Apologize for that.
Yep, but nothing too crazy as we're kind of winding down the game, so you guys kind of
Yeah.
know where we're going. I think she might try and sit on a token, so you have to kill her to take it.
Come kill me or block it. Yep, just go
Yep.
pop on those 2 points and say, if I can't have them, no one can. Come kill me.
I have no doubt in my mind that Derek will be charging the Harvester into her and the character. Just going for it.
Yeah.
Trying a little sandwich action.
It's 2 points.
It's 2 points.
Also, one reason for Dale to have held back those Forsaken Knights on that hill is that's unit strength on his side of the table, which is his bonus objective. So if they survive and he kills those juggers, he can pick up 2 points, 2 tournament points.
Correct.
Just by holding his half of the table.
Which is really great. I'm good. Thank you, though. All right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of stuff in play to just pick up those points. Gil, those are knights, not centaurs.
Yeah, the green unit are Order of Redemption.
They should be backing up 4 inches regardless. But I think that probably is 4 inches. It looks like it anyway.
Yeah, let's flip around, see if we can see what some of the dice rolls are here.
Yep.
For the combat on the hill.
All right, let's see what he's got. 3s and 4s.
6.
6. Pretty good.
7
I know they
wounds,
already had
okay.
wounds on him.
And an 8. That's pretty good.
Picks him up.
6. We'll pick him up.
All right.
Let's see if Dale remembers what his bonus objective is.
Even more haunting than that, if they do go to a turn 7, he runs those knights in and doesn't kill them, and they live and can fight. On turn 7, he could just countercharge, kill them, get a token, and just pull victory from the clutches of defeat. Like, there's always a lot of live stuff going on. That's weird.
Yeah, and that is a 2-point token. So I think Derek is unlikely to throw his 2 points into jeopardy.
Well, the problem is, if we do go to a turn 7, he just gets charged by them anyway.
Right.
So he may as well make it so at least they lose a thunder.
Well, he's got those. He's got
or
the Iron Beast.
Or he can just run them past and just say screw it.
Yep. And Dale backs up. Dale backs up, makes it smart because it puts the Iron Beast in the front.
Yep.
So which means Derek is likely to throw the Iron Beast in.
He's going to grab that token.
He's going to pick up the token and hold it. Okay.
He's going. He wants blood.
Yep.
Yep, there's the double. I knew that was coming.
All right.
We'll see if he, maybe we'll see if he lucks out or doesn't luck out. It's brutal. Counter from both sides.
Yep.
All right, that could be the brutal right there, I imagine. I didn't see what the brutal was, if it was a 1 or a 2. Unless he's rolling it right now.
Yeah.
No, that's for something else. That's for this guy over here. That's probably also brutal. Brutal 1 on both.
Okay.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, every little bit definitely helps.
Every little bit counts right here, especially for the green lady, the avatar. That's going to be very, very big. Only one rando attack for the Iron Beast.
All right.
As you do.
Probably not going to get Redemption Knights.
No, I would say not. So it is what it is.
And Dale, at this point, with these 2 hammer units on the table, probably still is holding Derek to only 3 attrition points.
Yep.
So if these units survive, that'll be
4
good
wounds.
for him there.
I think they're fine.
Yeah. All right.
I think he rolled high for those attacks.
Yep. Random attacks on
that's
the
hitting
Harvester.
On 3s, probably wounding on 2s.
Yeah, 13 attacks from the Harvester. Not a ton of hits, but a pretty good number of hits.
It looks like all wounds. We'll see what happens. 4 wounds? That's not a lot of wounds.
She's 13, 15. Here's the captain. Sure-footed captain in the rear. Just one more.
As you do.
5. Need a 10, I think. That's a 10.
8 twice.
Oh, an 8 twice was needed.
Got it.
And he got it.
Got it.
So that,
Oh,
yep,
no.
auto overrun 1.
Yep.
To pick up 2 points.
Yep.
That's huge. That is very huge.
Yeah, we'll see what he does there.
Everything is so close in this tournament this year. Those 2 points could end up winning Derek the event and possibly his club the cup.
We'll see. Now, I was unaware. Which unit was the unit with the Brew of Sharpness? Was that one of the units that was killed? Or is that unit there? I never actually determined what it was. Because then in that point, he gained his 2 points because he has My Precious, right?
Yeah, if he killed that unit, yeah.
Yes, we'll see.
And here, if Dale survives, it goes to a 7.
Oh, picks him up.
No, he picks
That's
them
2
up.
less
Okay.
points. Oh, boy. Yep. So, yeah, if we go to a turn 7, it's getting a little weird now.
Yep.
Rolling it out. See what he got. I can't even tell. It just freeze.
And
Game
that's
over.
the game. Yeah,
That's
it
it.
froze. So
Derek
that's going to be
grabs
the game.
Derek gets him.
We will see if
We'll see if Derek can become champion 2 years in a row.
we can. I mean,
Game 5.
this is going to be a pretty solid win because he does have what,
He
5
has
points?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
He's got
6 to
6
1.
points
6 to
in
1.
objectives. He's probably going to have 4 points. So that's going to be, depending on whether or not he picked up the sharpness knights or if they're still on the table, Derek might also get a max score, which will give him a pretty healthy margin over Bart
Correct.
in the final.
Sean, do we have any confirmation if that unit of knights is the Brew of Sharpness knights that are still alive? Our man on the ground.
They're
They're
the
elite,
so he did
so
pick up the
he
sharpness.
did pick that up for the 2 points.
So that is going to be like a 22 point, either a 21 or 22 point win for Derek, which is pretty big, which will give him some padding against probably Bart in the final.
Yeah.
Give him about a 9 point padding over Bart in the final.
Yep. Got some man hugs going on there. It's good stuff.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
All right, folks. So we're going to call that this game. Thank you so much for watching. Round 5 will start as soon as the rest of the games wrap up. I think on the schedule, it's technically 1 p.m. So we will have round 5 going in the neighborhood of 1 p.m. I will post on Facebook when we're actually going. The start time for the last round is kind of flexible. It's basically whenever you and your opponent are done eating lunch and ready to start, we let you go ahead and start so you can finish.
And I will. I'll post it up on some of the private chats too, so somebody just if you see it, just click on it. It's gonna be good.
Yep. So again, you can find the link to the round 5 stream on the VanguardGT.org website or on Facebook, or we will post a fresh link to it soon. Or you can just stay here on my YouTube channel. It's the upcoming stream that you can find here.
Yep.
Thanks so much for watching. We will be back with, at this point, I'm almost certain it's going to be Derek Sennstrom versus Bart Kohler. So Halflings versus Night Stalkers.
Unless, did we see what happened between Gabe and Marcelo? Did that put Marcelo up there or no?
Oh, that's a good point. They, I think, are still playing.
That makes sense.
So that could change things.
Yeah, so depending on that, we might see Marcelo, or we might see a dojo off for top table. We'll see.
We might.
Mike's gonna go hang out in BTO, but we could probably sign off for now.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sign off, folks. We will see you back probably in the neighborhood of 1 o'clock. Yeah, so everybody take care, get some lunch, and we will see you soon.